What if the very foods you love most, those in your daily meals, your weekend snacks, even the ones marketed as healthy, were silently pushing your blood pressure higher, sabotaging your heart, wrecking your energy, and even dragging down your sexual health without you realizing it? And what if just removing a few of these could bring your numbers down, boost your vitality, and even support your prostate, all without medication? Stick with me because you're about to find out exactly what those hidden foods are, how they affect your body as a man, and why skipping this could cost you more than you think. Your heart, your performance, your future, it's all connected. If you're serious about taking control of your health, hit that subscribe button now. This channel's here to help you outsmart the health traps hiding in plain sight. Let's start where most men don't even think to look, their plate. See, high blood pressure isn't just about salt. That's only part of the story. The bigger danger? The silent, everyday foods that trigger inflammation, stiffen your arteries, and mess with your hormones. Foods that slowly, steadily force your heart to work harder every day until one day it doesn't. But here's the kicker. Most men don't even realize these foods are the problem because they're not always greasy or salty or obvious. In fact, some are marketed as heart-healthy, when in reality they're like landmines for your cardiovascular system. Now imagine this. You've had a long day. You grab dinner, maybe a snack, maybe a drink. Nothing crazy. But that combo, something sweet, something fried, maybe a side of whole grain bread, sets off a chain reaction in your body. Your blood sugar spikes, your insulin rises, and your arteries tighten like a clenched fist. That night, your blood pressure creeps up again. Not enough for you to feel it. But your heart, it feels it. Your kidneys, they feel it. Your testosterone levels, yeah, they take a hit too. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed feeling tired for no reason? Like your body's moving in slow motion even though you slept fine? Or maybe you're putting in the work, diet, workouts, but your belly won't budge. Or worse, your energy dips instead of rising. That's not just getting older. That could be your blood pressure working against you, and the foods you're eating making it worse. And yes, there are 9 major culprits. But let's take our time here. Because it's not just about the list. It's about what's happening inside your body when you eat these foods, and what to do instead. The first food might surprise you. It's not chips. It's not bacon. It's something you probably reach for thinking you're being healthy. It's the whole grain bread, the kind loaded with wheat. Now hang on, isn't whole wheat better than white bread? That's what we've been told, right? But here's what most people never hear. The glycemic index, the speed at which a food spikes your blood sugar, barely changes from white to wheat. We're talking about a difference of 75 to 74. That's almost nothing. And when your blood sugar spikes, your insulin surges. That triggers your body to hold on to sodium, lose potassium, and constrict your blood vessels, all of which spike your blood pressure. But it doesn't stop there, because wheat also contains compounds that can trigger inflammation in your gut, even if you're not allergic. And that chronic inflammation? It stiffens your arteries, disrupts blood flow, and stresses your heart long term. Now imagine eating 2 slices every morning, thinking you're doing the right thing. That's how subtle and dangerous this is. And here's another thing no one tells you. This kind of blood sugar roller coaster doesn't just affect your heart. It drains your energy, tanks your testosterone, and even affects blood flow to the most important areas for male performance. Yeah, that kind of performance. So if you're wondering why things don't work the way they used to, it might not be age. It might be bread. Now think about this. When you remove this one food, even without changing anything else, you can begin to lower inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and help your blood vessels relax. That's the first domino. One tiny change that unlocks a whole new direction for your health. But what about the second food? This one's even sneakier, because it hides in plain sight at restaurants, snack aisles, even in dressings and sauces. Seed oils. We're talking about soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, canola, those highly processed oils that are everywhere. Now let's break this down. These oils are rich in omega-6 fats. And while omega-6 isn't evil in small amounts, most American men are eating 20 times more than they should. Why does that matter? Because when omega-6 levels get too high compared to omega-3s, it creates the perfect storm for inflammation inside your arteries. That inflammation leads to plaque. That plaque narrows your blood vessels. And what happens when blood vessels narrow? Blood pressure rises, and blood flow drops everywhere. Studies show that diets high in processed seed oils are directly linked to endothelial dysfunction. That's just a fancy way of saying your blood vessels stop working like they should. They don't relax. They don't dilate. And if they don't dilate, your heart has to work harder to pump blood. But here's the real kicker. These oils don't just affect your heart, they also disrupt your hormones. Specifically, they interfere with testosterone production by increasing oxidative stress in your testicular cells. So now you're dealing with double trouble: higher blood pressure, lower testosterone, all from a few tablespoons of oil hiding in your salad dressing, your frozen meals, your snack foods. Now imagine if you just swap those oils out. Instead of using canola, you switch to extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or even grass-fed butter. Suddenly, you're not just protecting your heart. You're giving your hormones room to breathe. You're lowering inflammation. You're actually nourishing your body instead of poisoning it. And here's something cool. Men who switch to olive oil regularly show better blood pressure, better cholesterol profiles, and yes, even improved erectile function. Coincidence? Not at all. Your blood vessels are the highway to your health, and these oils are either helping traffic move or causing a deadly jam. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a label and seen the words low fat and felt like you were making a better choice? That brings us to food number 3, low-fat dairy. Yeah, I know. You were told it's healthier, but when they take the fat out, they add something back in, usually sugar, sometimes thickeners or gums. And that sugar? You already know what it does. It spikes insulin, which increases sodium retention, disrupts blood vessel function, and raises your blood pressure. But there's something else. That natural fat in full-fat dairy, it contains something called CLA, conjugated linoleic acid. It's been shown to help reduce body fat, improve metabolic health, and even lower inflammation. When you remove the fat, you lose all those benefits, and you add sugar instead. It's a bait and switch that hurts your heart, not helps it. And here's a wild fact. Men who consume full-fat dairy instead of low-fat tend to have lower risk of metabolic syndrome, one of the biggest drivers of high blood pressure. So if you're still sipping skim milk, it might be time to rethink the healthier choice. And speaking of sugar, let's talk about the 4th food. It's obvious, but also overlooked: soft drinks. Now don't tune out, because the damage goes deeper than you think. We know soda is loaded with sugar, but here's the twist: that sugar is often high fructose corn syrup, and fructose is uniquely harmful. It doesn't just spike blood sugar, it goes straight to your liver, where it gets turned into fat. That's how you get fatty liver, even if you're not overweight. And fatty liver is a massive red flag for insulin resistance and high blood pressure. But fructose also depletes magnesium, and magnesium is essential for relaxing your blood vessels. So now you've got stiff arteries, more sodium retention, and more stress on your heart. And that's just from one can. Even diet soda isn't safe. Artificial sweeteners trick your brain and your pancreas. Your insulin still spikes, your body still holds sodium, and your blood pressure still rises. Plus, the acidity of soda, regular or diet, can leach calcium from your bones. And low calcium levels also contribute to hypertension. But let's pause right here, because I want you to take a moment and think, how many of these foods are on your weekly list? 1, 2, maybe all 4? What if just removing these, just these, could drop your blood pressure without a single pill? What if it could help you sleep better, perform better, feel better, starting in just days? It's always like this. At first, it seems silly. A little pain, a change in your tests, insomnia that comes and goes, but suddenly it becomes routine. And when you finally seek help, it's already harder. But what if you could act before it gets to that point? A natural, effective, and safe solution is within your reach, and it has already helped thousands of people who were in your shoes. The difference? They decided to act. Do the same now. See the pinned comment before this opportunity disappears. Now, if you've made it this far, it means you're starting to realize just how connected all of this really is. Food isn't just fuel, it's information. It tells your body what to do, how to feel, and how to function. And when you feed it the wrong information day after day, the damage builds up silently, until one day your body sends a message you can't ignore, a sudden spike in blood pressure, a prescription from your doctor, or a moment in the bedroom that doesn't go how you expected. That's why we're not just listing foods here. We're unpacking the hidden reasons behind why they raise blood pressure and why they're especially dangerous for men. Let's keep going. Food number 5 is one almost every guy has as a weekend staple: processed meats. Think bacon, sausage, hot dogs, deli meats. Now listen, this isn't about giving up flavor or fun. It's about understanding what's really in these foods. Processed meats are loaded with sodium, but not just table salt. They also contain sodium nitrites and other preservatives that trigger inflammation and oxidative stress. Your blood vessels? They don't like that. Over time, those chemicals damage the delicate lining of your arteries, the endothelium. That lining is supposed to help blood flow smoothly. When it's inflamed or scarred, your vessels become stiff and narrow. That's the start of chronic high blood pressure. But it doesn't stop there. Many of these meats also contain compounds that have been linked to insulin resistance. And as we've already seen, insulin resistance leads to water retention, higher sodium levels, and yes, higher blood pressure, not to mention erectile dysfunction and low energy. And here's the truth few people talk about. Your erectile function is one of the first signs of cardiovascular trouble. If blood can't flow freely down there, it's not flowing freely in your heart either. That's why what's on your plate has everything to do with what happens in the bedroom. So what do? You don't have to give up meat, but switch to clean sources. Think grass-fed beef, pasture-raised chicken, wild-caught fish. These have healthy fats that support testosterone, lower inflammation, and improve blood flow. And they're packed with minerals like zinc, which you need for both heart health and sexual performance. Now let's move to food number 6, and this one's tricky because it hides in health foods, granola bars, cereals, protein bars, even yogurt. We're talking about added sugars, not just from soda or candy, but the kind that snuck into healthy foods under names like maltodextrin, brown rice syrup, cane juice, or agave nectar. All of them spike insulin. All of them raise inflammation. And all of them create the same hormonal chaos in your body. Every time your insulin spikes, your kidneys hold on to sodium. Your body starts retaining water. Your blood volume increases. And boom, your pressure goes up. Day after day, bite after bite, you're slowly overloading the system. But what's worse is how sugar impacts your nervous system. It stimulates your sympathetic fight-or-flight response, tightening blood vessels and increasing heart rate. That's the same system your body uses during emergencies. But when you trigger it with food, you're sending the signal that your body is under constant threat. No wonder your blood pressure won't go down. And here's a fact that's going to hit home. Studies show men who consume high levels of added sugar are far more likely to have low testosterone, high cortisol, and even belly fat that won't budge, no matter how hard they work out. That's not just a physique issue. That's a hormonal warning light. Sugar isn't harmless. It's the fuel behind the fire of hypertension, metabolic syndrome, and poor performance. Now picture this. What if just 10 days without added sugar could drop your blood pressure by several points? What if your energy came back, your sleep improved, and you even noticed better focus and fewer cravings? It's possible. Men who cut sugar, even for a short time, often report all of that and more. And when they stick with it, their doctors start lowering their meds. Ready for the next one? Food number 7 is hiding in your pantry, and it's almost always paired with comfort. Instant noodles, boxed meals, canned soups. We're talking about ultra-processed convenience foods. Why are they dangerous? Because they're engineered for shelf life, not heart health. They're filled with sodium, preservatives, synthetic flavors, and often trans fats. Yes, even today. Trans fats are known to stiffen arteries, lower your HDL, the good cholesterol, raise your LDL, the bad kind, and increase blood pressure across the board. And the worst part? These foods are designed to override your natural hunger cues. So you eat more. Your insulin climbs, your sodium climbs, and your blood pressure follows. But it's not just what's in them. It's what they replace. Every time you eat a frozen dinner or microwavable mac and cheese, that's a meal you're not getting nutrients from. No magnesium, no potassium, no fiber. And those are the exact nutrients your body needs to regulate blood pressure. So what happens? You're overloaded with sodium and deprived of everything else. That's a recipe for disaster. Now listen, I get it. Life gets busy, but even swapping just 2 of those meals a week for something fresh, a piece of grilled fish, a big salad, some roasted veggies, can make a huge difference. Your arteries will thank you, and so will your energy levels. And now, let's talk about number 8, one that most guys never suspect: alcohol. Not in excess, but even in moderation, alcohol can raise blood pressure more than you think, especially when it's part of a daily habit. When you drink, your blood vessels tighten, your heart rate speeds up, your body releases more stress hormones, and if that's happening often, it becomes your new baseline. Add that to the fact that alcohol dehydrates you, leading to thicker blood and harder work for your heart, and you've got a potent recipe for chronic hypertension. And here's the kicker: alcohol also lowers your REM sleep, so even if you fall asleep faster, you're not recovering deeply. Poor sleep raises blood pressure, lowers testosterone, and increases your appetite for, you guessed it, sugar and processed carbs the next day. It's a vicious cycle, and it's so easy to fall into it without even realizing. A glass of wine or a few beers may not seem like much, but if it's a daily ritual, it might be the very thing standing between you and better blood pressure. So what do? You don't have to quit completely, but cut it down. 2 to 3 drinks per week, max. And when you do drink, hydrate extra. Get plenty of potassium-rich foods like leafy greens or avocado to balance it out. And never pair alcohol with high-sodium snacks. That combo is a blood pressure bomb. And finally, we've reached food number 9. Maybe the most common, the most subtle, and the most dangerous for men with high blood pressure: refined carbohydrates, white rice, pasta, pastries, bagels, foods that have been stripped of their fiber, their nutrients, their integrity. Why are they so bad? Because they digest lightning fast. They hit your bloodstream like a freight train. Blood sugar spikes, insulin surges, blood vessels contract, blood pressure rises, and then the crash: fatigue, cravings, irritability. So what do? You eat more carbs, more sugar, more sodium. And here's something wild. Studies show that men who eat high glycemic meals regularly, not even in huge amounts, are significantly more likely to develop hypertension over time, even more than those who just eat salty food. It's not just about salt. It's about insulin, inflammation, hormonal disruption, and refined carbs do it all. But when you switch to whole, fiber-rich carbs like lentils, quinoa, sweet potatoes, everything changes. Your blood sugar stabilizes, your insulin drops, your vessels relax, and your energy stays steady. So now you know, these 9 foods aren't just bad for you. They're actively working against your health, your heart, your hormones, your performance. But here's the good news: every one of them can be replaced. You don't have to go hungry. You don't have to give up flavor. You just have to make smarter swaps. And when you do, the benefits aren't just on paper. You feel them in your energy, in your sleep, in your mood, in your drive, and maybe most importantly, in your blood pressure. That silent number that could change everything. So take a look at your next meal. Is it healing you or hurting you? If you found this eye-opening and want to stay one step ahead of the most common health traps, watch the next video that just popped up on your screen, where we expose the foods destroying your testosterone without you realizing it. You're gonna want to see this.